Okay. I've been chopping at the bit ever since Bailey started talking. And I have a
Oh
question real
wow.
quick, man. I have a
Come on.
question.
Come on,
How
talk to
old are
us.
you? Because I heard them say your age, but I don't believe it. So I'm gonna ask you because I don't think you said your age. How old are you, Bailey?
I'm 14.
Okay, I thought I heard that. I thought they were lying. That amazing, amazing. Man, you had me excited when you started talking, and everybody said some stuff that is just so on point. And I'm about to basically reiterate what y'all all said. Um, as for tying this into sports, and I'm tying into my family as well.
Okay.
Uh, team,
Yeah.
the little analogy, together, together, everyone achieves more.
Mm.
Together, everyone achieves more. And so I didn't know if you wanted me to get in the coaching mindset of it, the player mindset of it, or just a family mindset. And I got a lot of stuff dealing with my family.
Whatever
But
you want to share, Coach T.
I got
It's
to, I
whatever you
got
want
to,
to share.
I got to. But together, everyone achieves more, and understanding that everybody got roles on the team. And you got to
Hmm.
embrace your role, and you got to know where your strengths are, and you got to be able to cover up your weaknesses and ask somebody next to you, ask your brother, and make sure he has your back.
Hmm.
In COVID in 2020, I'd go to basketball because I coach football and basketball at the high school I work for. We actually were going to the state. We made it to the state tournament,
Yes,
and
sir.
COVID happened. But that team was so great because we had the straight basketball guys who knew their role and they were the shooters. They brought the ball down. We had football guys. We had a cornerback who played basketball, and his job was to stop their best player.
Yes, sir.
He was a defensive specialist.
Facts.
We had the other football guys who are now playing at Texas A&M
Yes, sir.
football.
Yes.
They were the guys in the paint
Yes, sir.
defensively, and that was a formula. That
Hmm.
was a formula. Everybody knew their role and they knew their brother's role and they embraced it. They weren't trying to do somebody else's job. And so together, everybody achieves more. That's the sports mindset of it. But what ever since Bailey and everybody talked, man, we talk about accountability. We gotta understand that if you win, I'm winning.
Hmm.
You know, and at the end of the day, also you got to think about this. There's when I talk about roles, there's big brothers and there's little brothers, and
Mm.
though and you have different roles when you're a bigger brother and when you're a smaller brother. I think there's a lot of pressure when it comes to being a little brother, but hopefully you have big brothers that are picking you up. And I know Keith and I know a few of you guys mentioned that, trying to iron sharpens iron, and you trying to rise up, and somebody's helping you pick yourself up to be better. And that's super important that you surround yourself by people that's going to make you better. But on the other spectrum of that, when you are the big brother and I'm the big brother,
Yeah.
if you really consider that person your brother, you're gonna want them to be better than you. If he's really your brother,
Talk.
you're
Come on.
gonna want them to
Talk.
be better than you. And so
Talk.
I'm the oldest in my immediate family. I have a half brother, and he's obviously family. We made sure our brothers under us were better than us, and
Absolutely.
that's super important. And so, what I will say, if you do, Bailey, or anybody who's listening to this, who one is okay, they say I can't have friends who do certain things, or I'm a Christian, I can't hang out with people who going to the club,
Right.
or they're in this type of world, and they're in the streets or whatever. If you know that you really care about those people, um, what I always tell people is you got to have a strong foundation.
Yes.
You got to build a strong foundation, because if I'm going to reach down and I'm trying to hang with certain people, I
Hmm.
got to be strong in my faith. I got to bend my legs. I got to drop my hips, and I got to be able to make sure that I'm not going to get pulled into whatever atmosphere that is in. And I'm going to be able to be strong enough to pick you up. And I think that's also a deal that we deal with in the Black community, and in the community where we talk about moving out of the hood.
Yeah.
I'm and my brother's keeper.
Yeah.
And no, I need to go and move up, and I need to move out of the hood, and I don't need to look back. I need to move on and go. But there's ways to help out your brothers who do, and sisters, obviously, who do
Right.
need help. And so I just want to say, those people, if you do want to help people underneath you, you got to have a strong foundation, and that's a part of it all too, because we got to help each other up. Somebody helped me up,
Yeah.
when I was down, and so I wouldn't never just turn my back on people who, once I've gotten to a certain level, I wouldn't want to turn my back and not help anybody else and help the next man up. And so those are things that are on my heart, man. And it was from the jump, man. I just been waiting on that, and I appreciate all the words that was said. That's
Absolutely.
that's me right there.
Oh man, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Coach T. Y'all watching, man. I wish I had 5, 6 hours with these guys, but we can't do that. We're gonna honor your time, and man, these guys have been so gracious, man. I don't even have words to express it. So, how I want to close us out. Now, I talked to all of these guys individually about this particular assignment, and whatever I do, I put a lot of thought into it, and I pray about it. I'm the type, if I feel it, I'm gonna go with it. Period. I don't need no rim evidence, and I don't need to know it's $40,000 weight. I don't need any of that. If I get the conviction in my heart, I'll step out on faith and do it, whatever it is, how great or small. So I knew initially, I want to be honest with all these. I had some other guys in mind to do this. But when I really handled it and I touched it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with these guys. I can't give you all the specifics when I pick you, right? But so once you all guys accept it, I begin to step back from it and look at it like, okay, what are you saying? Like in a bigger picture, we're talking about fatherhood, brotherhood, manhood. So Bailey, you're gonna close us out, and I'm gonna give you the question to ask us. But I want you to listen to how we tie together, how our stories tie together, and how our struggle goes together. Wayne told you early, he said, Bailey, if they're not in your life, God's going to bring them in your life. Obviously, God has brought all of these men in my life at different seasons, times, in everything. So let me tie us together. So Steve and we met back in 2005. I won't go into the story because I get chill bumps thinking about it. It's definitely a God connect. But we have this bigger than life desire to repair those broken things that we see in the foundation as it relates to men, as it relates to juveniles, as it relates to community. This is the God's honest truth. I can literally talk to Steve. He can complete my sentences as it relates to doing those things. I can't articulate that. God has to connect us. Okay, what's another connection? Well, they already kind of touched him and Wayne and Steve, military, right? It's just, I don't care what you say. When you talk to brothers in certain branches, they all believe the same thing. I can be talking to Steve and I hear things that Wayne say. Y'all even have certain mannerisms and y'all never even met. I understand you get that from the military, right? Steve, where were you in the military?
I was in the Army and I was in Germany, Colorado, Alaska, Australia,
Okay.
Austria.
Now watch this. Wayne, where did you serve at? Where were you at?
Well, I've been all over. I touched 5 different continents, so I've been a couple places around the world. So,
And then you did the training for a while in Camp Pendleton. Is that correct, Wayne?
well, yeah, I've been here. I came to Pendleton in June of '86,
Okay.
and I finally got out of this gun club in August of 2007. So,
Right. Now, all the different places, never met, but you can see a thread. Like I couldn't put that together. Watch this. Here's another thread. Tehran, great high school player. Keith, great high school player. Tehran, great college player. Keith, great college player. What position do they both play? They both play receiver. I learned so much from this guy. I learned so much from Tehran. Watch this. Keith, Wayne. Keith, you're married again. Yes or no?
Yes.
Wayne, you're married again. Yes or no?
yes,
Watch this. Keith has a blended family. Wayne, you have a blended family.
Yes,
Keith, for
Yeah.
the first time in life, you have a son now. Wayne, for the first time in life, you have a son now.
correct.
Is that
Yes.
right, Keith? Watch
Yes.
this. Watch this. Watch this. Keith has recently purchased a washing terrier. Wayne purchased a washing terrier in Addison and owned a washing terrier.
Wow.
I could keep going on and on how we connect. Keith, Wayne also, huge family. I talk to both of y'all, y'all the same heart for your family, the how you want them to be better, what you're willing, not just wanting them to be better, that's one thing, but what you're willing to do to help them to be better. The same passion. Teron, the same passion for his family. Family man. Now watch this. Teron, I'm gonna tell you this. I ain't typing I prophesy, and I ain't gonna, I'm just telling you what I see. Since your dad's gone, I see his grace on you for your family. Whether you see it or not, just receive it. Watch this, Teron. He's trained you for it. We think it has to be a certain age. We think we've been told, hey, you're not a man until you 21, you can drink, or you 18, or you got hair on your chest, and you don't become the family leader until you fit. All lies. You right now, you already poised, and you are leading. You're not gonna lead your family. You are leading. That grace is on you right now, right? Steve, the ability to hold two worlds together without knowing, even though you know where you want to go, but having to trust God to get there with the destination, not letting neither one of them drop. I watch you with pace, and I watch you with your pace at home with your girls and your wife. Tremendous example to me. I can't tell you how many times I thought God, it was just depressed, and I'm like, man, dang. I was like, man, what my boy do? And we would have talked 2 or 3 days earlier, and you like, man, you such an encouragement. You don't even know how you encourage me. Like I'm telling you, it's not what we think it is. It's not what we think it is. And it ain't enough time for me to just continue to connect. No way possible for me. That's on me. It's no way possible uh, for me to be able to orchestrate that. God has to do it. Now, I want to honor you guys' time, and I told you what to cut off, and we're going to cut off when I said, like I said, thank you so much for blessing the New Balance family. This is going to be a phenomenal series. I can't wait to upload the first episode for tomorrow. So Bailey, this is what I want to do for you. We've been doing some things for you since you've been on here, and but now I need you, and then also I want to give the same question to you too, Teron. I want to give the same question to you, but I want Bailey to answer it first. And Bailey, I want you to be honest. Right now, you're very respectful. I don't want you to think about how old we are and who we are. I want you to, from your own mouth, I want you to tell us. So Bailey, if there were some things that you could ask of my generation it's me, Keith, Wayne, and Steve. If there are some things that you could ask of us to be better at, things that we could do more of, and things that we could leave in place that would leave your life better, what would some of those things be? And if you need a moment, I'm gonna ask that same correct question to Teron.
It's a question. I need to think. Oof.
What could it be? Because we represent obviously in a relay there are 4 legs. So we are the back curve in this relay. So Bailey, you and Teron represent the anchor. Y'all going to share that responsibility together, right? So just imagine we got the baton and the straightaway on the backside. We're in the curve running this race. We all know what, we know what we're trying to achieve. But sooner than what we even can imagine, we're going to have to pass this baton. So Teron or Bailey, it doesn't matter who goes first. Tell us, what can we do? How can we be better? What can we do? Straight up, don't hold back. We need to hear it. Because sometimes one of the things I have a problem with the generation that came before me, I'm not mad, but I do have a problem, is when I come to you, man up, and I ask you, and you don't tell me, I have an issue with that. I have an issue. Whether you my family, you my friend, don't matter who you are. If I'm asking you for a reason. I need the information. Now I do get it if I'm asking you something, you don't have it, right? But let me explain to you by what I mean by not having it. We think that we should always have just the right answer. That's really not it. What do our wives tell us? I need you to what? Listen to me. Because of how God designed us, when they start talking, we automatically think, oh, I know how to fix this problem. And I want to fix it so I can go back and I want to start, because Pittsburgh playing right now. Right? Let me fix this right quick and I can get back to the game. I want to go whatever I want to do. But if you live long enough, you stay married long enough, or be in a relationship, you understand they ain't looking for us to fix the problem. They just want us to listen. They want us to listen. So Teron, Bailey, y'all should be ready now. Whoever wants to go first. Because I think this is important for us as men, families, whoever's watching. Because there are some things we can do better. We need to hear it. Whatever you say, and if I have the power to fix it, we're gonna fix it. We're gonna make it right.
Okay, well, I guess I can just say, just for my generation in
Yeah.
general. So like, there just needs to be more men taking the time, effort to just properly raise their son or daughter, or like putting all of the knowledge and experience that they have into them, just so that when they get older and that when they're an adult, they know how to, they know what to do, and they're on the right track. And they just need people in their life to guide them, so they're not just blindlessly doing whatever, which is either going to end up getting them killed or on the street homeless. It's just kids need people in their life.
We hear you. And I promise we're gonna respond. I know this group is. We're gonna respond. Thank you. Thank you for your honesty, Bailey. As a man, I'm telling you, sometimes you got to hear some tough stuff that it's tough to hear. But when you're a man, manhood, fatherhood, brotherhood is part of what we do. Wayne and Steve can tell us some stories about being in a fight, being in the military. It ain't a lot of that type of decision. You got to advance, or you gonna get advanced. Period. I'm talking about seconds. Thank you for that, Bailey. Teron, talk to us.
And that's big time. I'm in my 30s now, and so I feel like when it comes to the generational deal, I'm that middle child. I'm that third leg.
Yeah.
Bailey's on that about to start that sprint. I'm that third leg, and I would say that, like I said earlier, wanting us to be better, and truly giving us what you have. At the end of the day, not being selfish enough to keep that in. I want the generation before me, and I want obviously me, my generation. I want y'all to leave a legacy, even a better legacy. I think we've come from obviously a rich heritage, and where we've come through a lot, and we've overcome a lot, and we're blessed to be where we are. And but it can't stop. It can't come to a head where we're going back down. And so I hope and I pray and I think we are, especially the men on this podcast, are going to leave a great legacy, and teach the younger generations and generations to come on how to be a winner and how to get to the top and how to be better than them. So just leave the best legacy as possible.
Incredible. Thank you so much for your honesty, T.
Hey, Harry, can I chime in on that real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. I want Keith, Wayne, Steve, I want y'all to all give us your final words before we close out.
Yeah, I think them giving us their perspective on what they think we need to do. I'll give mine on what I've done lately.
Okay.
As I talk, when I think I know something and I'm talking to a young person, before I can be very strong in my delivery.
Right.
So what I've learned is how to soften that delivery and it not to come from a perch, but to sit down next to young people. I had a conversation about 2 weeks ago,
There
maybe
it
3
is.
weeks ago, with two of my younger cousins who are probably 30 years plus younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of me preaching to them, we sat down and just had a conversation. And it's mind blowing how receptive they were in having a conversation and how much I was able to talk to them about some of my knowledge in the conversation instead of me staying on the perch and preaching to them. And I think one thing we can learn is if we just sit down and have conversations with young people and be willing to listen to their perspective, because they actually have a lot more intelligence and they have very interesting viewpoint on a lot of things. And maybe sometimes they just need a little tweaking.
That's
But
it.
if we will have a conversation instead of preaching from the pulpit every time we talk to them, I think we can get a lot more across to them. And that's something I continue to work on because my passion sometimes comes across very aggressive. When I think I'm trying to tell a young person something that I know is right,
Yeah.
I'm working more and more on my delivery of that message to them.
Powerful. I received that because that's where I am. That's where I
Yeah,
am.
I think for me, I'm kind of a combination of Keith and Teron. I'm looking at a legacy of leaving behind and also helping the generation behind me. I've been doing it for years, man.
Yes, sir. You have. Yes,
I've
sir.
done it for a long time.
Yes, sir.
And now that I've kind of gotten a little rest and regroup and got my girls where they need to be,
Yes, sir.
I just started going internally in my family to the younger men in my family and starting to mentor who's now married now and got
Right.
ministry and going on. And so I felt like, and I know I'm gonna continue doing that, is all of what God has put in me.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm supposed to give
Yeah.
to the next generation
Yeah.
and help shape and mold them. And like you say, Keith, I've been pretty strong too, but just encourage, man, just encourage.
Yeah.
And now, quiet as it's kept, Doc, in a couple of more weeks, I'll be 60 years old, man. And I ain't got time to be
Yes, sir.
saying the same thing over and over, man. I'm gonna just say it one time and
Yes,
I'm gonna
sir.
roll on.
Yes, sir.
My job, I'm either gonna be in the planting season
Come on.
or the watering season.
Come on, man.
That's all I do.
Incredible.
And so, Bailey, man, my hat, my heart, and my man is to you, brother.
Yeah.
You are the epitome of what it really should look like.
Yeah.
When you focus and be faithful to it and just go, man. I'm proud.
Absolutely.
I'm proud to say I know you, bro.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Uncle Wayne.
Yeah, I want to echo what everybody else said. I think we should come back and do the manhood piece of it because I think we should talk about that a little bit more and unpeel that puzzle too, because I think that's a huge part right now. But to get, like you mentioned, my son right now, he's 15 years old.
Yeah.
And you said about Keith and T earlier, he's a receiver and he's pretty good at it. But I keep telling him, I say, hey, until you're the best receiver in the state of California, we don't need to talk about nothing. And right now he's a freshman. They want to move him with the varsity. But I said, nope, he's not going to varsity because he's not physically ready for that level of pain yet because he's a big kid, but he's not there yet.
Right. That's a good.
So
That's wisdom.
I say it because with Bailey, I have someone in my life right now he's 15 and getting back to what Keith said a minute ago, I have to catch myself and let him know I'm here if you need to talk.
Yeah.
I'm not going to push my belief on you because I know my generation. It's ironic because he turned 15 September 27th, and we was coming back somewhere. I said, man, you 15, I'm 55. And that's 40 years difference.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
We listen to something on the radio and today's music. So I changed stations on him. And just so happened Jungle Love was on the radio.
Watch yourself.
I
Watch
said,
yourself.
man, that's 1984 there, baby. That's my music. I said, that's what I listened to when I was your age.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I said,
I love
I
it.
laughed, but I said, so think about from my time from that 1984 to now, all the stuff I've been through in life.
Yeah,
You have to be patient. I tell Bailey one thing: just be patient. You're
yeah,
gonna see things in life you want to jump out there and do. Just be patient. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a time to do everything in your life you want to do.
absolutely.
Like I said, I've been all around the world on 5 different continents, and I tell you like this here, it's a big world out there,
Hmm.
big world, and you're a very, very small pond, a very small fish in this big sea. And just be patient. It's gonna come. It's gonna be there. And T,
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, if you're a coach, you're a mentor. For 20 years of my life, I'd had to deal with young men and women every single day trying to outsmart me when I was in the military. They try to run game on me. They come to work every single day and try to tell me, trying to figure out a way to get off work, try to do something.
Shaman.
And I tell them, I tell you, T, because these young men and women, young men that you coach, work with, they gonna look back at you and say, man, I remember Coach T. And you might not know, there's a lady named Miss Mary. Miss Mary was my Bible school teacher when I was in had to be like early 70s. I remember Miss Mary used to always tell me, when I come to Bible vocational school, and she said, you come sit up here with me, you and him come sit next to me, and you be still. But Miss Mary taught me so much, and she prayed for me. She said, she told me back then, said, I'm gonna continue to pray for you. And I believe her prayers to this day got me through the life I've been through today.
Absolutely.
I've been in 3 different wars and fought in 3 different battles. And I believe her prayers, what she prayed back then in my life back then, kept me alive today.
Absolutely.
So I tell you what, T, those kids are looking at you and they look at you as someone they could count on, and the words you put in their mind, you might not think it's nothing, but to them it means the world. So I tell you, young brothers, man, just keep hanging in there, be patient. Life is gonna come. And when it comes at you, I'm telling you, sometimes I've been dealt hands with no spades. And I'm in a spade game, you know what the boys on the block say,
Yes, sir.
hey, you play what you got, brother. They don't
That's
turn it
it.
back in.
That's
And
it.
life is the same way.
That's
You
it.
can't put that hand back in the game. You got to play it
That's
out.
it.
And sometimes you're gonna get all the spades. You're gonna walk around your chest all pumped up.
Yes,
But
sir.
guess what? Ebb and flows. Don't get
Yeah.
too high up the highs. Don't get too low with the lows.
That's it.
Hang tight and be strong. And I tell you one other thing. Now, I ain't on this note. Me and my brothers, when we get off the phone now, we always tell each other we love each other.
Absolutely.
Because we don't know when the next time we're going to see each other. We don't
Right.
know. We don't know if we're going to be able to make it to each other.
Right.
And like I hear you guys talk about how much you love and care about each other, because having those relationships and those friendships in your life,
Yeah.
man, I'm telling you, man, it's priceless. You
Yeah.
might, especially at Bailey age right now, you may
Yeah.
not understand it, but one day you got somebody in your life that either gonna be your biggest cheerleader, they're gonna be your biggest fan, they're
Yeah.
gonna take care of you. Like Harry said earlier, when you make a mistake, they're gonna be there to catch you.
Yeah.
And when you go through tough times in life, and I went through a very dark time in my life, maybe about 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
My brothers picked it up. They came to my house and stayed with me for a whole week.
Yes, sir.
No one knew that. They came and stayed with me the whole time.
Yes, sir.
When I was going through that dark time.
Yeah.
And they said, man, we're not leaving till we know you, till we think you're okay.
That's
And they
it.
stayed with me the whole time.
Yes,
So I
sir.
say that to you, brothers, because there's people in our life, God put in our life, is gonna be there with you through thick and thin.
Yeah.
Especially you, baby. It's coming. Trust me.
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know, but I know what you don't know. It's coming. Trust me.
Yeah. Thank you, Wayne, for sharing that. And I want to transition to the next question. And I know Steve has to go. He has a engagement. And man, I want to shout him out. I know he had to pull. Man, we love you, Steve, man, and we appreciate your contribution. No way this podcast rolled the way it did without your contribution. So we just appreciate you rocking with us. I want to say something to Keith too. He was giving me flowers, but I want to tell him as well. It's no secret. I've talked about it. My brother, I have two brothers, or three brothers really. Um, but my second oldest brother, he's going through a serious struggle in his life, and it's tough when you see someone struggling and you want to help them, you want to be there for them, but you can't. Right? We understand life is just choice driven, and sometimes we don't make the best choices. I'm not. It's not a put down on my brother. It's a fact. And maybe I know someone that's going through, maybe not the specific thing, but you're going through watching somebody that you love struggle. And you know they're in the need of a serious rescue. And if it continues, we know the worst eventually is going to happen. It's just the truth. But one of the things I appreciate about Keith, and he could never know this, he fills a void, that void of having a brother, because there's a season, my younger brother, man, we were like two peas in a pod, man. I was his big brother, little brother, that type. And then obviously because I'm older, my life has to go. And so you look back and reflect, dang, maybe I should have been all these things that go along with it. But I wanted you to know that like you feel a void, you feel a void, and you meet like a necessary need in my life in that way. And I think it's important because God will give you, you may have biological brothers and sisters, but I have some friends, man. They just like my family. Some of them have even been sticking close to my family. So don't ever downplay who God brings into your life, right? Um, man, this could, like you say, man, I feel like we need to delve into that manhood some more. We maybe need to talk about it and see if we can get us another episode in, but we got to cut it. Hey, that's a wrap for When Generations Talk. We've been blessed by it. And as we always say before we get out of here, from Teron, from Wayne, from Keith, from Bailey, and from Steve, it's strength for today. It's sustenance for tomorrow. It's your boy, your potential conditioner, H2O. We love you, and we'll see you when we see you. Peace.
Peace.